England and the identity crisis of a post-empire nation. England was once the country that wrote the rules for the entire world, from law and commerce to the way one holds a fork and knife at the dinner table. Yet today, England itself no longer knows who it is. A land once called the empire on which the sun never sets. But that sun has long since set. England is no longer an empire, not truly part of Europe, no longer at the center of the world, and not yet able to find a new place to belong. This is not only an economic crisis, not only a political one. It is something deeper, an identity crisis. A nation caught between the glory of the past and the uncertainty of an undefined future. Part 1. The post-imperial psyche. When pride becomes chains. In the subconscious of the English people, the empire never truly died. They still remind themselves that England brought law, language, railways, tea, and modern commerce to every corner of the globe. But the rest of the world sees differently, not as civilizers, but as colonizers, not as bearers of light, but as the shadow of oppression. This duality leaves England in a paradox. The glorious past cannot return. The guilty past is too painful to face. Thus they live in a limbo where pride becomes chains, chains that prevent them from moving forward. Part 2. Culture, society, politics. A nation torn apart. Today, England resembles a torn fabric. One part of society clings to an image of a pure old England. Nationalism, closed borders, the dream of self-reliance. Another part embraces globalization, multiculturalism, believing only openness can keep the country alive. Brexit was not merely a political event. It was a wound in the nation's soul. In London, young people of many ethnicities live as global citizens. Meanwhile, in the countryside, the elderly still long for the days of the English gentleman. There is no longer a united England, only many small Englands, each convinced it alone holds the true national identity. Politics reflects this fracture. One side with populist slogans of "take back control," the other with progressive movements emphasizing diversity, equity, and integration. The great question remains, is there still a common identity that can unite the English people, or only fragments that can no longer be pieced together? Part 3. The identity crisis. When a nation no longer knows who it is. For a nation to move forward, it must know where it stands. This is what England has yet to find. After empire, after Brexit, after COVID, England is no longer the undisputed financial hub, no longer the global leader, no longer in the heart of Europe. Yet it refuses to accept being just another ordinary nation. This is the painful paradox. It cannot continue to be what it once was, but it does not want to become what it is becoming. In this state, England behaves like a person who has lost direction, at times raising its head like the empire of old, at times withdrawing like a nation afraid of being left behind. When identity dissolves, purpose dissolves. When purpose dissolves, no strategy can be born. When an individual loses identity, they fall into an existential crisis. When a nation loses identity, the entire people lose their way. Today, England stares into the mirror and whispers, "Who am I?" But in truth, that same question echoes to all humanity. Who are you when there is no passport, no title, no past to cling to? Who are you when all that you once prized, power, wealth, status, slowly fades away? England's identity crisis is a warning to us all. If we do not awaken, if we do not dare to redefine ourselves with honesty and courage, sooner or later, we too will be lost in the shadow of who we used to be. This is no longer just the story of a fallen empire. It is the question of our generation. Do we have the courage to ask who we are and who we will become? So what do you choose? To live as a shadow of the past? Or to step forward, awaken, and create a new identity, true, profound, and unbound by illusions of power? If this question resonates with you, please share and subscribe. For sometimes, to understand the world, we must begin by understanding ourselves.